But in order to help us with this unbelievably explosive information about what appears to have been some sort of plot, some sort of physical plot against the U.S. ambassador, I want to bring into the conversation now a reporter from the Hartford Courant who has covered the somewhat strange political saga of Robert F. Hyde, this Republican congressional candidate who has been excoriated by the Courant's editorial page for, among other things, his crude comments about Senator Kamala Harris. It is his text messages with Lev Parnas tonight, released by the Intelligence Committee, which appear to show a potential physical threat to this ambassador as part of the intimidation and smear campaign that forced her out of office and that ultimately led in part to the scandal for which President Trump is currently being impeached. Joining us now is Daniela Altimari. She's a State House reporter at the Hartford Courant, and she is in the middle of reporting this herself. So, Daniela, I really appreciate you making time to be with us on short notice.
Sure, thank you.
Let me just ask you about Robert Hyde. 24 hours ago, he certainly was not a national figure. I know that you have covered him in his congressional campaign in the 5th District in Connecticut. I just want to get your top-line reaction to him surfacing in this very dramatic way in this material just released tonight by Congress.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. You read these messages that were released in the House Intelligence Committee documents, and the language is certainly very on point of what we've heard from him in the past on his own Twitter feed and just comments that he's made to various reporters and about various public figures. He's using sort of those same tone. You know, especially as it relates to women in positions of power.
In terms of the implications of his exchanges with Mr. Parnas here, I found myself reading this feeling that I wanted to know more about Mr. Hyde's credibility. Is it possible that he is a fabulist and he is imagining or fantasizing that he's got resources or contacts of people who could be surveilling a U.S. ambassador in a foreign country? Is he somebody who, forgive me for asking it this way, but is he nutty enough that this might have all been in his head and might not have actually been happening in real life?
I don't have enough information to know that specifically. I do know that he is not a sort of what we would call a mainstream figure in Connecticut politics. He's somebody who really hasn't held elective office before. He wasn't very well known, and he's one of several Republicans who are running for the seat, and he doesn't appear to have a lot of support. In fact, most of the establishment Republicans have actually called on him to step aside, certainly after those tweets about Senator Harris were publicized.
We're showing a picture on the screen right now of Mr. Hyde with President Trump. He's obviously got that picture front and center on his campaign page and has made claims to sort of be very connected to the Trump inner circle. In sort of looking up his background, trying to understand more about him today, I noticed that there was an incident last May where he was actually arrested at the Trump Doral in Florida and told police that he believed a hitman was out to get him.
Yeah, he was escorted off the property. As far as we could tell from a redacted report, it wasn't clear that he was arrested. There was no mention of an arrest in this incident report. He was removed from the property. They did identify him as trespassing at the Trump resort. So he was asked to leave by police. That's as much as we could glean from this redacted report, incident report.
Daniela Altimari, Hartford Courant State House reporter, hard at work on this story right now as we speak. Thank you for taking time to talk with us tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.